opportunity may arise for Jürgen Klopp's favourite. At Chelsea, the rules are being rewritten. Ever since the club's new owner, Todd Boehly, took over at Stamford Bridge, all activities at Chelsea have been run apart from the usual, with player exchanges between major clubs. Raheem Sterling and Kalidou Koulibaly joined the cast, while the Sterling transfer took everyone by surprise. The new management's governance model may have highlighted an opportunity that might benefit Liverpool. Christian Pulisic, who signed a £58 million contract from Borussia Dortmund in January 2019, is looking to join a team where he can get more time for the rest of the season. Still only 23 years old, the teenager realizes that Chelsea is not in their plans and wants to play for a team where he can start. It is one of the qualities that is definitely expected in a player of this age. Tuchel does not see him in his master plan, and this is evident from his squad choices. According to the latest news, Newcastle, Juventus and Atletico Madrid have also investigated for Pulisic. Manchester United are also reportedly now racing for him, and Chelsea are open to letting their star leave on loan. Pulisic want more regular minutes ahead of the World Cup. Thomas Tuchel kicked him off the bench in the first 2 games of the season, and Chelsea added Sterling to their first 11 this summer as even more competition. Sterling's transfer was in itself a disgrace to Pulisic. It is normal for Pulisic to seek another adventure for this reason. It is known that Jürgen Klopp is a longtime fan of the American, with whom he worked in Borussia Dortmund. Liverpool made a £11 million offer in 2016 when Pulisic was just 18 years old, but it's still questionable whether they'll be interested. FSG's purpose was different when the first proposal was made. The German coach had a close relationship with Pulisic, and the club wanted to use Pulisic for advertising purposes off the pitch. It was seen as a very good opportunity transfer for FSG, which wanted to open up to the North American market and make a name for itself. The advertisement of the Liverpool brand is of course as important as the transfer of players. There are some reasonable arguments that Pulisic is also a good option for Liverpool this summer. Being able to play on both flanks can add to the depth of attack that has been reduced since the departure of Takumi Minamino and Divock Origi. Moreover, since he is 23 years old, he is still open to development and has already worked with Klopp in the beginning of professional football. In other words, Klopp is aware of what qualities he has and can be the teacher who knows best what virtues he needs to develop. But apart from these, as we mentioned at the beginning of our video, Pulisic wants to go to a team where he can play regularly, and Liverpool is not a place that fits this criteria. It would have been inevitable for Liverpool to find time in their current state, but with Jota, who will return from injury, and Nunez, who will return from injury, and Nunez, who will be back to the team, Pulisic would look for the minutes with a candle. Considering that Todd Boehly let Timo Werner leave on a discounted rate this summer, it would have been reasonable for Pulisic to come to Liverpool on a low fee in terms of self-improvement. Of course, if we look at the players going to Liverpool, it cannot be said that Pulisic fully fits that profile. Origi, Mane and Minamino's goal contribution does not fit the Pulisic profile. The Reds want to fill this depth with names with high-scoring statistics. But Pulisic has yet to show it at Stamford Bridge. Having scored 19 goals in 76 games for Chelsea to date is not a number that can now inspire confidence for the Reds that they can push those numbers forward. Apart from all these, it should not be ignored that Klopp can get maximum efficiency from the players. Pulisic can uncover a deep-seated jewel in Klopp's hands and rejoin the world of football as an established player. It is also quite curious to see how Pulisic accepted the offer made by the Reds years ago and what level he is now. Liverpool may deal for Inter midfielder Marcelo Brozovic. The Reds are currently lacking Thiago Alcantara, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Curtis Jones, which has resulted in him linking up with many players including Moises Caicedo, Sander Berge and Brozovic. Former Leeds United goalkeeper Paul Robinson said the Anfield hierarchy still had time to strike a deal if they wanted to. Still, there's a lot of time left in the window. If they want to make a deal for Brozovic, they can get it over the line before the window closes. They'll have done their due diligence for players like Brozovic. I'm sure there are a few midfielders they are looking at. Before Thiago's injury, Jürgen Klopp's I'm sure he's done. I don't think he has any intention of signing a midfielder. Now I'm just wondering if a case has been opened given their current injury situation and the way they are starting the season. They can just take a look at what's available and if they can cross the line in the next week. I think they're getting lighter in that position right now, he said. A sentence by Paul Robinson can sum up Liverpool. This position gets lighter. Yes, indeed, Liverpool midfield needs some lightening. The midfield department is almost bankrupt and is, so to speak, infirmary. The injured cannot return, the player trying to keep in shape is suddenly injured. The Reds were caught in a great whirlpool. Although Klopp has reiterated his desire for qualified players instead of being outnumbered, the number of healthy players who can currently play in the middle of Anfield Park is very low. Moreover, if these injuries continue, there are no players left to replace them, and probably players from different positions will be recruited to this region. So it's only natural for Liverpool to be in contact with more than one midfielder. One of the names coming out may be a star who can solve all these problems in Brozovic and Liverpool. Brozovic has done impressive work at Inter Milan and has captured the attention of many European teams this summer. He is a player who collects the midfield and can adjust the tempo of his team very well. He has the character to be Klopp's heart on the pitch. The 29-year-old player can take part in any part of the midfield. This could allow Klopp to use it as a wildcard in the midfield, where injuries are now increasing. Liverpool's reaction will be effective in the coming days. Liverpool have the transfer comfort of Darwin Nunez as possible source points to Premier League evolution. Liverpool fans could be forgiven for faltering a bit against Darwin Nunez. The club got off to a good start with an impressive performance from the bench against Manchester City, followed by a similar effect against Fulham, but in their first game at Anfield, they were shown a red card for a ridiculous move against Crystal Palace. His sight aroused suspicion. Inability to control the ball, miss the ball in front of the goal and incorrect pass preferences in the matches held in the pre-season training camp had echoes in the world press. However, his effective performance that started in Community Shield also affected the league, and the negative atmosphere disappeared in an instant. On the contrary, his support increased and his sense of confidence improved. So what did Nunez do after all this positive process? At Anfield, he left his team alone by making a foolish move when he was expected to be the leader of the team, which no one would want in front of his fans and despite Liverpool's shortcomings. Broadly speaking, Nunez regretted his mistake and apologized multiple times. However, the impression he left at Liverpool is still reassuring, even if it has hampered the positive impact he has had so far. His effect on the Fulham game was particularly striking. Nunez needs to realize that on his comeback he definitely doesn't need such dropouts anymore. There is still confidence that Klopp will make it shine.